If something causes me to stop, that would tell me I failed. But there's so many ups and downs for the entrepreneurs that you talk to on a regular basis. They know that at any time, what they think might work very well could fail. But if you don't stop, you keep plugging through, you use that as education, all of a sudden it becomes successful, even if others might deem it as failures.
And Brad, what was the exact moment you realized your life had collapsed? And how did you mentally take the first step towards rebuilding?
And one day I was driving along realizing, has God abandoned me too? And that was really the place that I had to settle in. And I just got mad at God and I said, God, what are you doing? Why are you letting all this happen? Do you hate me? And I said, you know what? I know your secrets. I said, I know that if I believe in you, I'm going to heaven
Mhm.
and I'm believing in you. And whether you hate me or you don't hate me, I'll be there. So be prepared to have one of the people that hate you, that you hate the most. I'll be there.
Hmm.
And I think God just laughed at that. And he put his arms around me and he said, I love you. And it was a journey of rebuilding my relationship with God. And once that was rebuilt, he started showing me ways of building other businesses. And there was just this gradual build up.
And the biggest cybersecurity mistakes founders make.
Kind of the same thing, believing that they're too small to be at risk. So many people think that only the large companies are at risk. 69% of all hacks go towards small businesses.
And Brad, if you had just 30 seconds to convince a small business owner that their business is already at risk digitally, what would you say?
I would say if you use...
So, folks, you have tuned into TGV and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, the world's only quadrilingual podcast at this moment of recording. And we are trying to embark into multiple languages as we speak. And here we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. And we want to simplify and amplify your journey to success. I'm your host, Navin Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place by bringing you wisdom through valuable discussions with experts designed to simplify and amplify your success. And thank you so much for tuning in. So, folks, we are joined by Brad Hawkins, who is the CEO of SaferNet. He's an entrepreneur and the author of 3 books on faith and leadership. After experiencing a devastating financial collapse, he rebuilt multiple successful companies and now helps entrepreneurs create ventures that endure. And his work blends cybersecurity expertise, purpose driven leadership, and the grit required to rise after failure. And Brad, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series. How are you doing today?
I am doing excellent, and I'm so grateful to have joined you. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Wonderful. So, folks, today we are going to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand: cyber secure, purpose driven, and unstoppable. Lessons from Brad Hawkins. But before we get started, here is an exciting twist. As always, let us tickle our guest's brain first. So, Brad, the format is simple. I'm going to kick off the first rapid fire round now. I'm going to mention a few words and request you to respond to them as crisply as possible without thinking much. And if you are ready, let's get started. All right. Okay. And here comes my first word: curiosity.
Keeps you pliable.
Invention.
Everyone can do one.
Future.
It's up to you.
Universe.
God's world.
Leadership.
Treat people great, do the work, and people follow.
Success.
Peace and joy.
Security.
Submitting to God.
Life.
Eternity.
Career.
Always changing.
AI.
You better get on board.
Wonderful. And here comes the last word: aliens.
I'd love to meet one.
You never know. We might meet one in our lifetime. And Brad, I thoroughly enjoyed your responses. Thank you for participating in rapid fire round number one. There is one more rapid fire round towards the end of the episode. Stay tuned. And thank you once again for being part of our journey in
That's
shaping the.
it's kind of a fun experience.
Indeed, we get to know the other side of the guest. That is the intent. And thank you once again for being part of our journey in shaping the careers and lives of millions across the globe. And it's time for us to get into the mainstream conversation. So we'll begin with our standard question. So, Brad, talk to us about who is your guiding voice?
Um, that's a great question. It has evolved and changed over the years, but truthfully, it's settled in on one, and it will probably never change. And that is God and the Holy Spirit. So just
Mhm.
hear what He has to say and do it.
Yeah, spot on. And talk to us about your success mantra, as in top three things that have contributed to your success so far.
Uh, you know, Life is hard, business is even harder, and, what I find is that what helps me be successful, besides just being able to follow the Holy Spirit is not getting discouraged, just keep plugging through.
Hmm.
People have said that I'm, tenacious, I
Hmm.
don't give up, and that's really what drives me, but also being able to be comfortable being different. I'm fine with just, I do things and people say, well, that'll never work, and I always smile at that because I know if you're tenacious and you drive, it probably will. So that's my contribution to that. So
Yeah, got it. And your story is really inspiring. Even after setbacks, again, you rose like a phoenix. And if you talk about the entrepreneurs, most entrepreneurs fear total failure, but you lived it. And talk to us about what emotional truths did you discover that you think founders need to hear.
truthfully, I've never really feared failure. I really don't think failure exists unless you stop. So if something causes me to stop, that would tell me I failed. But there's so many ups and downs for the entrepreneurs that you talk to on a regular basis. They know that at any time, what they think might work very well could fail. But if you don't stop, you keep plugging through, you use that as education, all of a sudden it becomes successful, even if others might deem it as failure. So I don't think anything is a failure, and I don't think I have any of my businesses or enterprises have ever failed.
Hmm.
They've definitely morphed into new versions of themselves, but I just keep going, and that goes back to that tenacious personality that says, "Let's just keep going."
Hmm. Wonderful. And I love the statement like failure is something when you stop, but if you keep going, there's no question of failure. Amazing. And Brad, what was the exact moment you realized your life had collapsed? And how did you mentally take the first step towards rebuilding?
Truthfully, my my journey was uh, a process of stepping into growth. I built many businesses. I had a very large investment company. From there, I built a many other companies. One was a worldwide LED light manufacturing company, and others was medical wellness. But I had a very uh, a friend that used to work for me. Actually, he was in my company, but he also ran his own company, and he had created a Ponzi scheme inside of his company, not mine.
Hmm.
And the authorities thought I must have been involved. And so what they did is they seized all of my assets
Hmm.
in their investigation, and in that process, I wasn't able to pay any of my employees, my vendors, anything, and so all of my companies collapsed.
Hmm.
And the gentleman that did that ended up going to jail for 28 years, but they finally let everything go on my side. But it was after the destruction of all my companies. And I looked at that, realizing, okay, well, my companies are gone, but then I started looking around and all of my friends disappeared because they didn't know what was happening. And then I looked around and even some of my wife was wonderful, my kids were wonderful, but some of my extended family all bailed. And it was just a slow destruction of everything that I held on to as important. And one day I was driving along realizing, has God abandoned me too?
Mm.
And that was really the place that I had to settle in. And I just got mad at God and I said, God, what are you doing? Why are you letting all this happen? Do you hate me? And I said, you know what? I know your secrets. I said, I know that if I believe in you, I'm going to heaven
Mhm.
and I'm believing in you. And whether you hate me or you don't hate me, I'll be there. So be prepared to have one of the people that hate you, that you hate the most. I'll be there.
Mm.
And I think God just laughed at that. And he put his arms around me and he said, I love you. And it was a journey of rebuilding my relationship with God. And once that was rebuilt, he started showing me ways of building other businesses. And there was just this gradual build up. So it was really, I had to settle in on where my relationship was with him before I was able to move forward.
Right. Got it. And thank you for sharing that. And Brad, if you had just 30 seconds to convince a small business owner that their business is already at risk digitally, what would you say?
I would say if you use email or you use the internet or you have any connected devices for your business, then the real question is whether or not you're going to find out on your terms or you're going to find out after the damage happens.
Mm.
Because 71% of all hacks are successful and 54% go unnoticed. So because of that, when you're in that place, you know you're gonna be hacked. You know that there's going to be vicious things against you, and even now with AI, you there's no way you're not gonna be hacked.
Yeah.
Are you going to protect yourself first or after it's happened?
Right. Wonderful. And again, going back to the general topic, what is the first system, habit, or mindset someone should build when starting again from zero?
You know, honestly, it goes back to that whole tenacious
Hmm.
attitude that
Hmm.
says, when things go wrong and every single person, there's gonna be bad things that happen. It's just gonna happen. But the question is what do you do? Do you quit or do you get up and keep moving? And it's interesting because when I was going through this, I realized after doing a little bit of homework, uh, about 65 to 70% of all successful people have gone through a massive failure before they became very successful. And
Yeah.
so in my mind, it is a matter of, okay, don't let it get you down. Don't let it tear you apart. Get up and start moving. And I have this process, and I just recently wrote a book called The Power of War that's coming out in April. And it's and this is something that many people have used to be successful, but we have to manage our thoughts and keep our thoughts from taking us under.
Mm.
And I've taught this for years and years, but all thoughts will create an emotion. No matter what your thought is, you're going to have an emotion from that, whether it's a positive or a negative thought. And all emotions will create a behavior. And every behavior will give you a result. And so the key is manage what you think about. And the Bible talks about this. It says, think about things that are pure and holy and just and true. So if you manage your thoughts, you can stay tenacious and you can stay positive moving into the direction that you want to go.
Yeah. Got it. And going back to the collapse part, like if you could distill your collapse into one sentence of wisdom for entrepreneurs, what would it be?
Um, you know, truthfully, we have this picture of what real success is.
Hmm.
And it's not what we It's not what we think it is. And so going back to that tenacious attitude, um, whether things fall apart or whether things move forward, always look around for what is working and put your time, energy, and focus on what is working and stop trying to fix what's not working. And if you discover what's working and you pay attention to that and you see that as God's hand, focus on the successes of what has been built and ignore the things that are falling apart.
Right. Excellent. Switching back to cybersecurity topic again, what three cybersecurity practices should every entrepreneur implement today that could save their business tomorrow?
Um, I personally believe that every single person that is using any device that connects to the internet
Mm-hmm.
should always have a 24/7 always on VPN. You should never access the internet without a 24/7 always on VPN.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows you have virus protection on there, but very few people use a 24/7 always on VPN, which is very important. And then I would also say, don't be dumb. Know that you are vulnerable, and don't think just because you're not important in your world that nobody wants to hack you. It's going to happen. And the third thing I would say is stop clicking links on your emails. Just don't click them. Do some research before you find out where they're coming from, and pay attention to that. That's where most hacks come from.
Right. Got it. And also, Brad, you work on building companies that last. So I'd like to understand what differentiates a business that fades from one that becomes generational.
It goes back to everything in life
Mm-hmm.
is, if you're living life just for yourself, it's not going to last. If you're living life to build others up and love on others, it will last. So the first thing I'd say is don't be greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in the people around you, whether you're paying them good or whether you're investing in their life, whether you're treating them like they're very important. Care about the people around you, especially the key people in your business that are helping the business go, not only in the people, but invest in their families, invest in the things that they see are important. Because when you're doing that, you're helping them become successful and you're building relationships with the things that are important. But the most important thing is to make sure that you're showing God's love to everyone around you. That will generate long-term relationships, which generates long-term businesses.
Amazing. If you had to build another company from scratch with no resources, what would you do differently now?
You know, I build companies all the time. There we have a small little family office we've built, and we build businesses with people around us all the time. And one of the things goes along with what we just talked about is investing in others. Is that I find people that find things that are very important, that are they're very smart at what they do. And I'm really good at building systems and building environments around a business that makes it work. And so I love finding people that have a really good idea and getting behind them and supporting them and showing them what they can do to be successful or not. And when you do that, you're going back to that same premise, showing God's love to other people, investing in other people, helping other people be successful, and God will always take care of you on the backside.
Amazing. Love it. And I'm thoroughly enjoying the conversation, and it has been insightful. And it's time for us to add some more spice and excitement to the episode, which means we're going to kick off the second rapid fire round. If you're ready, let's continue. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And here comes the first bullet. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
I would say if you're looking for answers, look in the Bible.
Awesome. Okay. And I think I know this answer, but I want you to answer it a little differently. Okay. Because you have spoken about tenacious. many a times so far. So describe yourself in just one word other than tenacious.
Unshakable.
Amazing. And one cybersecurity myth you wish would disappear forever.
I would say I would say that most people believe that they're not important enough to be hacked, and it's not about how important somebody is, that they will be hacked.
All right. Got it. And the biggest cybersecurity mistakes founders make.
Kind of the same thing, believing that they're too small to be at risk.
Mhm.
So many people think that only the large companies are at risk. 69% of all hacks go towards small businesses.
All right. A book you wish everyone would read except your books.
Well, I think you probably guessed what I'm going to say is that it's
Bible.
the Bible. It's like if everybody would just read and understand, take the time to ask
Right.
God what the Bible means, you would find great wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one thing you learned the hard way.
Don't force things.
Mhm. Your your superpower as a leader.
I think it's clarity under pressure, just staying peaceful.
Mhm. And if you could hire only one role for startup, who comes first? Whether CTO, salesperson, or strategist?
Really, the way I see it is whatever takes um, work off of the founder, whatever takes work off of me is the first thing I would hire. Typically, that means sales for me,
Mhm.
but others, it might mean something that they're not skilled at.
Okay. And name a failure you are now grateful for.
Um, I- you know, I'm not grateful for any failure, really. I'm grateful for the emotional growth that happens going through the process.
Yeah. Super impactful. And your go-to productivity hack.
Just go. Just don't wait till it's perfect. Just go and work on it.
Wonderful. And it comes the last one for the second rapid fire. What is one electronic gadget or a fantasy gadget that you like to see or invent yourself?
You know, I I honestly don't know if I have one, but the only thing I could think of is to have some automated email management system because emails are exhausting to me.
Mm-hmm. Superb. And let's flip back to the mainstream. What truth should every entrepreneur accept early on if they want to minimize the regret later?
Oh, it's about success. Most people don't understand what that means, but to be successful, there's going to be a sacrifice. There's going to be a cost. And whatever the cost is, if you ignore that there's gonna be a cost to be successful, it's gonna eat you. But if you plan your cost, if you understand what the cost is going to be, you can at least manage that process. So it might be your family, your faith, your values, your health, your whatever it is, but it's gonna cost you something. But what I like telling people is that if you're gonna manage your own cost, move into humility. Allow humility to lead you, and it keeps you from having to pay the costs of the other things.
Right. Got it. Got it. And Brad, as I mentioned earlier, I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. It felt like a mini startup MBA masterclass. And thank you so much for being part of our journey. And how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. I think you're probably the most well-prepared host that I've ever spoke to. I've been on many podcasts, but you are, excellent at what you do, so congratulations on your hard work.
Thank you so much. Means a lot. And really appreciate you sharing those kind words. And thank you once again. And looking forward to hosting you again in future. And I wish you all the best on your upcoming book as well. So take care, keep inspiring. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So, friends, that was our episode with Brad Hawkins. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. If you have enjoyed the conversation and found it useful, request you to share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues or family members, whoever you think are also going to like TGV, the guiding voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. And now comes the trivia part. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay. And of course, I'll reveal the answers as well since it is not an interactive show. But if at all you know the answers, you can put it in the comments if you're watching it on YouTube. So, my first question is, do you know like over 60% of small businesses close within 6 months of a major cyber attack? True or false? Okay. Most cyber breaches happen because of human error, not technical flaws. And here is another fun fact: more than 90% of startups that succeed pivot at least once from their original idea. And the question now is, which famous founder started with bankruptcy before creating one of the most iconic companies in the world? Okay. Do you know the answer? Okay. There are many, but Henry Ford is a classic example. And next one is, did you know studies show leaders who practice gratitude and reflection recover from stress faster than those who don't? Now, the question is, what percentage of entrepreneurs report that their biggest breakthroughs happened after a major failure? Guess the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is surveys often show over 70%. So these are the things I wanted to share from trivia perspective. Likewise, if you have any interesting trivia to share related to startups, failures, and raising back from setbacks, feel free to comment. If you're watching it on YouTube or if you found this episode on social media, you can comment there as well. So, folks, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV family. Until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.